but you're just frightened. You think that we'll corrupt your kids if our agenda goes unchecked. Funny, just this once, you're correct. We'll convert your children. Happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you will barely notice it. You can keep them from disco, warn about San Francisco. Make him wear pleated pants, we don't care. We'll convert your children. We'll make them tolerant and fair.
So if you're not familiar, Cuties is a film that Netflix just bought. This film does try to make you sexually aroused by 11-year-olds. And I'll say it's not bad at it.
Roberts and like our leadership over there has been so welcoming to like my like not at all secret gay agenda, and sense of I don't have to be afraid to like, let's have these two characters kiss, let's in the background this, like I was just wherever I could just basically adding queerness to like if you see anything queer in the show, I'm proud of them. But like I just was like, no one would stop me and no one was trying to stop me.
So story time. This has been my first year in preschool with a class of my own, teaching alongside another queer neurodivergent educator, and we have been rocking our twos class. We've been talking about gender and skin color and consent and empathy and our bodies and autonomy. It's been fabulous. But our teaching team is shifting and a new person is being onboarded, someone with many years of experience. So today at the lunch table, when the topic of gender and genitals came up, one of our students plainly looked up and said, "Well, I'm a girl today, but I know that teacher Co isn't. No, they're NB." And the look on the incoming teacher's face was priceless. She was shocked in a good way, and she just looked around at the two of us and said, "This class is incredible, and I am so impressed."
I have 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries.
How do you do that? How do you
scare the fuck out of them? Yeah. Sacramento organization that is under the banner of Antifa is very loosely organized, right? So like, yeah, when there is like right-wing rallies and stuff, then we'll create an opposition to that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Where would he go to connect to some of these organizations? Like,
I post a calendar every week.
Awesome.
And then so like and I do it for extra credit, so they get points for doing it. Like, and so that encourages them to do it. And I've had like students show up for like protests, community events, tabling, food distribution, all sorts of things. When they go, they take pictures, they write up a reflection. That's their extra credit. Like I have an Antifa flag on my wall, and a student complained about that. And he said it made him feel uncomfortable. Well, this is meant to make fascists feel uncomfortable, so if you feel uncomfortable, I don't really know what to tell you. Like, maybe you shouldn't be aligning with the values that this is antithetical to.
There you are! You missed our royal ball! We met the most amazing princess! But they ran away, and all they left behind was this.
Everyone, there's something I need to tell you. The princess who came to your ball tonight was me. I'm Gonzarella.
But Gonzo, why didn't Vu tell us?
I don't care what y'all think. Trump sucks. He is a sexual predator. He's a literal moron. Go tattle on each of the freaking asses. They don't give a crap. No, he is not. What are you talking about? Turn off the Fox News. Do your parents listen to Fox News?
Okay, so during third period, we have announcements and they do the Pledge of Allegiance. I always tell my class, stand if you feel like it, don't stand if you feel like it, say the words if you want, don't have to say the words. So my class decided to stand but not say the words. Totally fine. Except for the fact that my room does not have a flag. It used to be there, but I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable. And I packed it away and I don't know where, and I haven't found it yet. But my kid today goes, hey, it's kind of weird that we just stand and then, we say it to nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, I gotta find it. Like, I'm working on it. I got you. In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around, he goes, oh, that one?
Hey, Blue, look at all these families. Hi, families. It's time for a pride parade. Families marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. Families marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. This family has two mommies. They love each other so proudly, and they all go marching in the big parade. Families marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. Families marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. This family has two daddies. They love each other so proudly, and they all go marching in the big parade. Come on, friends! Families marching three by three, hurrah, hurrah. Families marching three by three, hurrah, hurrah. These babas are non-binary. They love each other so proudly, and they all go marching in the big parade.
Do you think that I'm a boy or a girl? No. Oh. What do you think I am? I think you're a boy and a girl. And that gave me a certain amount of euphoria.
C is for consent. And this is, it says ages, this is for ages 0 and plus. Grandpa leans down to kiss Finn. Mom says, please ask for consent first. Grandpa asks, may I kiss you on the cheek? Finn replies, yes, you may. Auntie and uncle want Finn to sit with them. Come sit on my lap. No, you have to sit on my lap. Finn says, no, thank you. My parents say I don't have to sit on anyone's lap if I don't feel like it. Mom's friends give Finn a present. Does that mean he has to hug or kiss that person? Only if he wants to.
Main reason for me about why having queer representation and queer educators and queer education in the classroom from a young age is so that these kids will grow up to either be wonderful and accepting allies who have had this normalized in their lives from a young age.
He reports, these women are running a sexy summer camp for children in rural Kentucky with lessons on sex liberation, gender exploration, BDSM, being a sex worker, self-managed abortions, and sexual activity while using licit and illicit drugs.
In the last couple years, I worked with the school systems, and my job definitely was not to teach sex ed, but I explored constantly and tried to figure out ways that I could work this in somehow. Like, I'm in the school systems now, I have an in, surely I can figure this out. Get down with yourself, explore your own body. Masturbation is really healthy, and I recommend it to people of all ages. All ages. As soon as my nephews could talk, they were doing that. That's what they were doing.
Put your face up. Boom. What you gonna do about it? Boom. Nothing.
Yes, well, as many of you know, I actually do teach in a state where the teaching of critical race theory has been banned. And of course, I would never do anything to oppose Supreme Leader DeSantis. Just not in my nature to do that sort of thing. But if I were, which I'm not, if I were, I would make sure that there were lots of works by people of color in the curriculum that I was teaching. I would make sure that we were having conversations about the situations those people of color find themselves in and how things ended up that way. And I would make sure that we would acknowledge that things aren't happening one person at a time, but there is, you know what I'm saying, that going on. Yeah, absolutely what I would do, but I won't.
baby blue, pink, white represent transgender people, and black and brown represent the queer and trans people of color. We're all in this together.
I have a girl brain, but a boy body. This is called transgender. I was born this way. When I was very little, and my mom would say, "You're such a good boy," I would say, "No, Mama, good girl." At first, my family was confused. They'd always thought of me as a boy. As I got a little older, I hardly ever played with trucks or tools or superheroes, only princesses and mermaid costumes. My brothers told me this was girl stuff. I kept right on playing. My sister says I was always talking to her about my girl thoughts and my girl dreams and how one day I would be a beautiful lady. She would giggle and say, "You're a funny kid." Sometimes my parents let me wear my sister's dresses around the house, but whenever we went out, I had to put on my boy clothes again. This made me mad. Still, I never gave up trying to convince them. Pretending I was a boy felt like telling a lie.
I teach my elementary school students about gender identity. Learning about gender identity helps children develop critical social emotional skills such as self-awareness, social awareness, and respect. I teach my students that there's a whole spectrum of gender identities and that everyone, whatever their gender, deserves love and respect. Some people are girls, some are boys, some are both, some are neither. Gender is all about how we feel on the inside and how we express ourselves. The most important thing I teach my students is that it's our job to listen to and learn from people when they share with us who they are, and that we need to use the name and the pronouns that people ask us to use when we refer to them. Here are some of the books and tools that I found the most useful when teaching about gender identity.
I wish that people understood that drag is a way of expression.
It disturbs me that people think that we're, sexualizing them.
I'm a fourth grade teacher, and I do a lot of work with social justice and equity in my classroom. We have racialized conversations all the time, and my kids have gotten very good at this type of discussion. But there's one thing that keeps coming up that I'm not quite sure how to tackle. It's the slang, with cultural appropriation of slang terms, like, sheesh, they're doing that a lot, or like, oh, that's fire.
I was a camp counselor for 1 week and turned an entire cabin of 13-year-olds into leftists. Here's how. It started on day one when the kids of their own volition decided to have an election to see who would be president of the cabin. They had me track votes anonymously, and I may have broken the tie in favor of the obviously queer kid. Another kid who was weirdly obsessed with Russian history then asked if he could be Mikhail Gorbachev to the cabin, to which I said, I don't think so. You could be Karl Marx, though. He was thrilled. The kids then, somewhat clumsily, started discussing the merits of their communist government. It probably would have ended there, but on day 2, the president told me that he had trouble sleeping the night before and asked me if I had anything to read. I had exactly one book with me, The ABCs of Socialism. This kid read the entire book in one night. The next day, another kid asked for it, and then another. By day 4, Karl Marx proposed that our cabin cheer be the communist cabin, where everyone is equal, and everyone agreed.
Now, some of you may have seen this handy dandy flyer before. I love this. This is a fabulous educational tool. The Gender Unicorn! Ta-da! Okay, I don't know if you all have seen this before, but yes, all of the spirit fingers for the Gender Unicorn. This is a fabulous, fabulous tool that we use in educational settings to talk about gender identity and gender expression. So it's just, it's fabulous. So again, the blue is representing the gender identity. The green, we're talking about gender expression, sex assigned at birth, physically attracted to, emotionally attracted to. There's a whole series on the Gender Unicorn and lessons that can be used to go over it. I learned about it in a training I went to this fall, and 2 years ago I was in it as well. This is a fabulous tool, especially for visual learners, right? For visual learners. I am a huge visual person. I don't do well with stand and lecture. Give me pictures, please. So, Nikki, have you used this in class before or in a lesson setting?
So I have used it both in a lesson as a teacher, but also with our staff at EMS. Earlier this year, we did a training where the gender unicorn was a major piece that we talked about to support staff members to continue to learn and understand our students' identities when it comes to gender.
The Gay ABCs, this is written by M.L. Webb. A is for ally, a friend who is there to stand up for you with strength, love, and care. B is for bi. You can shout it out loud. I like boys and girls, and that makes me proud. Bisexual is, this is, again, we're talking kids 3 to 7 years old.
Like so awesome today. I was in charge of our active activity, and one of the kids referred to me as a girl, and one of my kids was like, Jamie doesn't have a gender. Jamie's not a girl. Oh my God. And the kid was just like, what do you mean? And she was just like, Jamie doesn't have a gender. Jamie is not a girl.
I like the way that has me is so emotional. It was like Jamie's they. She's 8.
How come my penis gets big sometimes and points up in the air?
That's called an erection.
Sometimes I touch my penis because it feels good.
Sometimes when I'm in my bath or when Mom puts me to bed, I like to touch my vulva too. You have a clitoris there, Kayla, that probably feels good to touch the same way Keith's penis feels good when he touches it. But have you ever noticed that older kids and grown-ups don't touch their private parts in public?
They don't?
That's right, Keith. It's okay to touch yourself and see how different body parts feel, but it's best to only do it in private.
RT deal, because it's happening, and as a parent, I speak to other parents, there's a few things that we don't want. I'm biracial, I'm bilingual, I'm multicultural. The fact is, in America, in North Carolina, I can do anything I want, and I teach that to my children. And the person who tells my little pecan-colored kids that they're somehow oppressed based on the color of their skin would be absolutely wrong and absolutely at war with me.
Want to counteract that? I actually pulled my daughter out of AM Culp because of the 5th grade teacher who lined those students up from whitest to darkest, made them turn around, and the white ones needed to apologize to the black ones. Now, do not tell me that it did not happen, okay, in this district. You need to put an end to this. Kids do not see color, and you are segregating them and you are separating them. This is not okay.
Let these teachers come in and act as if they have nothing wrong. They've done nothing wrong. A mistake? How long of a mistake? How many mistakes are we going to take before my child almost lost her life? They didn't tell me that my child was suicidal. You allowed these teachers to open their classrooms teaching predatory information to a young child, a mindful child that doesn't even know how to comprehend it all. How do you not know what was going on your own campuses? Did you think that no parent would ever come forward? You will not quiet me today. I will stand here today and protect my child along with every other child who has not come forward yet. Do they have psychiatry degrees that I was unaware of? Because I didn't hire them. Okay, I did not hire them to sit there and nitpick my child's brain. You took away my ability to parent my child, even before I had any knowledge. I didn't even get to show support. You asked for support, I didn't get a chance. You planted seeds, Miss Caldera, and Miss Baraki, Mr. Baraki, and you, Miss Pagarin. Your job was to educate my child in math, science, English, etc. Do your job and let me do mine.
We're coming for them. We're coming for your children. We're coming for them. We're coming for them. We're coming for your children. We're coming for them.
But still, in fact, a parent, not my boss. I don't actually answer to them, so get bent.